Maybe musicals. She said, well, was it a patient toilet or was it a staff toilet? To which I could only reply, well, all toilets are patient.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, happy Wednesday, everybody.
How are you doing?
I am Max, the last gasp of a desperate man.
And I'm Sam. Just Sam.
And that's all you need to be. Welcome back to Maybe Movies for the first of our June Wednesday shows. And Act 1 of, and I'll get it right this time, the Rocky Horror Phantom Show.
That's the bunny!
Yay! One very quick shout out, if I can.
Oh, yes.
To one of our new subscribers. Hello to Spotless Calm, who do lots of ambient kind of music, relaxation, meditation music.
Chill out stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect for meditation, or as I still tend to use them for, to help me with my insomnia.
Ah, yes, it does help.
Yes, yeah. So do give them a look. They're doing brilliant stuff. It's normally a range of stuff. It's actually more music as opposed to just ambient noise. So like, a lot of them will be just like rain sounds and things like this, whereas this is more rhythmic in there as well.
Okay, cool.
Which seemed an appropriate one to do today. Oh, I have grapes.
Multicoloured grapes.
I do have multicoloured grapes. Why do I feel like we should be sunning ourselves in ancient Greece? We are sitting at the table of Bacchus, or Dionysus, depending on which one version you want to go.
Indeed.
I should probably not have started eating these while I'm doing the introduction. Anyway, sorry, getting off topic. Thank you for joining us again. If you are new to the channel or if you have been with us for a while, always good to see you. At the moment, YouTube are being particularly draconian with, in particular, small YouTubers, especially those who have yet to get their first 100 subscribers. So we would ask that you do just double check that you are still subscribed to us. If you are new to the channel and you have literally just subbed, do hit the notification bell, as we do have one.
Yes.
Ding. Exactly, ding ding. That was last week. But yeah, please do, and if you can, leave a comment as well, because all of these things helps the algorithm to say, oh, actually, no, yeah, they're a verified subscriber, and they won't just, I was going to say off you. That's not what I meant.
Unsub you.
That's, he knows what he's talking about, I don't. Yes. But if you can, that would be fantastic. If you were here with us last week, then you'll know we are now on Buy Me a Coffee.
Yay.
With a small target to help us get one of our books back into print. Chuck us a quid. And if nothing else, as I think I did put on there, it's more actually keeping us in popcorn. Because I don't drink coffee.
I do, but it never seems to materialise for me.
And also have a look as well at our Patreon. There'll be similar targets and things on there as well. All still very new to it, so we're kind of figuring our way out and or in, depending on. Moving on.
Yes, do.
I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say before we start. Must admit, with the first part of this, I don't know if it's going to take particularly long.
Well, since we've swapped antagonists, or I don't know, yeah, they are, but not. They're also kind of leads as well. They're swapping our geniuses, our evil geniuses, and they respectively don't really appear until the very end of their respective first acts. So a lot of this is going to run on rails.
It certainly is. I did have a couple of prelim stuff I wanted to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
First thing is, in our new version, is the Phantom an alien?
I was thinking about this earlier on. I'm tempted by the notion that no, he is in fact the freak that is the Phantom. But he's been taken in by these strange people who just so happen to come by another planet.
Fair enough. Well, it could go either way. That was one thought.
That's my instinctive knee-jerk response.
That was the first option that I had. The other option I said, if you wanted to flip it the other way, is that because in the original film he's supposed to be brought up in a freak show. He's not been brought up in a freak show, he's just an alien, and that's why his behaviour seems freakish.
My only concern is that we might feel compelled to flip in the opposite direction and turn Frankenfurter into a freak.
And we don't want to do that.
Well, it would be fundamentally me changing it, wouldn't it be?
I agree. No, I am happy with that then. That's...
Yeah.
What you said there was my first go-to anyway.
Oh, brilliant.
I think part of the reason why I wanted to qualify that is because it kind of informs when we get to Act 3, or even when we get to Act 2, Dr. Scott's involvement. He's investigating UFOs, but this does, actually thinking about it, maintain that anyway.
There's still aliens
There.
from another planet, it's just that Phantom isn't one of them.
Cool.
Which would explain Riff Raff's antagonism towards him. Straight away. He's not one of us.
Ding. One in the bag straight away, man.
Nice.
What's about this as well is, as you quite rightly observed last time, they are both madmen in love or obsessed with their creations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But the thing is, the Phantom isn't a scientist. The Phantom teaches. The Phantom nurtures his subject. Frankenfurter is a scientist. He simply makes them. So does that mean then that Rocky is a physical creation of his, or is he simply a student that he has nurtured into what he wants him to become?
My kind of take was it's like he's been taken in by these aliens and he's taken advantage of their technology to fulfill his obsession.
That works.
So he's not the inventor, but he is the creator.
I want to do this. How do I do it? With your technology. Nice. Well, there was one other piece of preliminary stuff that I thought we should do. To quote from the good Dr. Frankenfurter himself, to absent friends.
To absent friends. There's one thing, actually, I think I want to bring up before we start.
Yeah.
Just because it's, even though it's not going to make any difference to this act, because the thing I'm talking about applies in the first act, but it will in the second, or will become more relevant in the second act, is that the Phantom tends to sing literally everything he says.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in Rocky Horror, people tend to speak between songs. In The Phantom of the Opera, so many people, but especially the Phantom, sing almost every thought in their head.
That's very true.
So do we want him to do that too in this? It would make him the only character that does it, and it would stand out. It would stand out quite nicely.
It's retaining more of his persona from the original film, so yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Okay, so obviously we only meet him briefly in whatever Sweet Transvestite turns out to be.
I had a thought about that. We'll come to that. The only other bit that I was going to ask about is: do we want to bother, or do we need to do anything with him right at the beginning at the wedding scene?
Oh, well, in the same way that the cast is always present in the background.
Yeah.
Just because, yes, because this is Rocky Horror, and we want to lay into that. Now, it's one of the things I've always loved about it is that the first time I watched it when I was 14, I honestly thought it was meant to be that they were watching Brad and Janet the whole time. Yeah. And it wasn't until I got a bit older that I just realised it was a nice convention that the cast repeats throughout the various roles. So when they're the normal world, it's still the cast, but they're acting like normal people. And then later on, they're the Transylvanians at the party and all that. So
if we have him there effectively unmasked without any kind of...
The actor himself without any makeup.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's the convention, isn't it? It's not that they're actually secretly watching Brad and Janet. They are just fulfilling those roles throughout the story. So yes, Gerard Butler would be the vicar without any scarring or anything like that.
Brilliant. So pretty much we can move...
Double features the credits. Down at Janet is what we just talked about. The narrator comes in to tell us about how dire things are about to get.
Which I found out recently. So is it the with double feature... The lips are Patricia Quinn's, but the voice is Richard O'Brien's.
Yes.
That was just like...
Yes.
Sweet.
Apparently, if you watch some of the extra features to do with the film, there's a big discussion about whose lips it should be with the studio. And it was literally Patricia Quinn, through force of personality, convinced them that it should be her lips, because basically they were the fullest on the cast.
Pretty much, though, as we said, the majority of this act will run on rails because we don't have our cast in there. I did think when you get the scene where they're driving through the rain, you get the motorbikes coming the other way. Mm-hmm. Do we want to change it up and have them either on horseback or it's like a series of handsome carriages that go past?
Oh, that's a nice touch. The operatic look.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. Because it could still be they're taking their hands in their lives, riding out on a night like this, on horseback in a thunderstorm. Yes, yeah. No, actually, I like that. That's really lovely. It's a nice little touch and a nod back to the origin of the Phantom.
Exactly. We pretty much very quickly move through
There's
to...
a Light is fine. Time Warp is just Magenta and Columbia and Riff Raff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the introduction, Sweet Transvestite.
First of all, his entrance itself.
Yeah.
The Phantom is a master of shadow.
Yes.
And also a master of ventriloquism.
Yes.
So would he appear in the way the Frankenfurter does it in the elevator, or would he be already amongst the assembled people there? Because they're all in masquerade masks anyway.
Oh, that's tough. See, because the actual introduction of Frankfurt is a stealthy introduction. Brad and Janet are unaware of anything until he starts singing. So I kind of like it in its original form. It's understated. It's like a quiet moment for the Phantom. He's not showing off quite so much. He's just making his entrance. But then these peons are making a fuss in his mansion. And he waits patiently for the perfect moment to interject.
No, that is true, actually. Okay. I did think, would we change it from Sweet Transvestite to Sweet Opera Phantom?
Well, Sweet Opera Phantom doesn't really scan very well, but I know what you mean. It shouldn't be transvestite, because he's not a transvestite. No. You mentioned about him trying to create the perfect castrato, and we were talking about the sexual frustration that the Phantom exhibits.
Mm-hmm.
What if he's the castrato? It's that vivid jealousy that's unable to be consummated.
He's trying to create something better than perfection.
But that also gives us Sweet Castrato as an intro song.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Does that pass?
That works. It has the same effect. Yeah, definitely. Unless you've got anything else for this bit here, the only real other point I had for this act is when they get up to the lab itself.
But I was going to say, that's the next time we see the Phantom, and this is where we're going to have to introduce his convention of seeing literally everything,
yes.
Even though everybody else speaks normally. Actually, that's going to be as funny as hell. It's going to be one of those running gags throughout the film, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, we've got to introduce that convention. So obviously he's going to step onto the podium in front of the microphone, but instead of speaking,
he's going to sing.
Instead of being theatrical, he's being musical.
Yeah.
I literally only noticed it the last time I rewatched it. Was the moment when he goes, "An accident." And he looks around and goes, "An accident!" And they go, "Oh, an accident!" And they lean on his shoulder, and it's like, "Oh, this has all been planned.
Yeah,
this is a pre-prepared. He's being theatrical."
I'll have to go back and watch that again.
He's going to be really annoyed. Instead of them not responding to his theatrical moment, he's going to be annoyed that they're not singing back to him.
Of course.
I am singing my song. What are you talking about? Don't you understand my purpose?
Talk, man! I am talking!
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
And again, that was even going to reinforce the idea that this guy might actually be from another planet.
It's going to be a third act reveal that he's not one of the aliens.
But it's the perfect foil for Frankenfurter's cross-dressing.
Yes.
It's equally outside of the norm that they consider him to be.
Well, he's
freakish, shall we say.
I suppose if you stop and think about it for a second, the Phantom is basically the 19th century version of a cosplayer. He's always in some sort of costume. Mask and cloak. Mask of the Red Death.
Yes.
Don Juan, he's always cosplaying a character. He's never himself. The only time he's ever himself is when he's unmasked.
Of course, and then he reacts violently to it because he can't be, because he's constructed all of these fantasies to hide his...
He's his 19th century cosplayer.
That's so cool. Literally about the only other thing I had for this is his machine itself.
Yes.
I was going to suggest, rather than having all of the little things, all the colours in it, they have something that lowers into the tank and is projecting harmonics. Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain element to it anyway. There's like a hum and a... But actually make that be a sonic device rather than a visual device.
I mean, one of the devices that he gets Riff Raff to activate is the sonic oscillator.
Exactly.
So it's already there.
So they'd be like different harmonic, or they'd be like almost like different, like the different, what do you call it? The different sections of a symphony, you know, like the woodwind and the thing, and each one's a different until it just becomes a cacophony of an orchestra kind of thing.
It could just simply be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like it because it's so basic. It's everybody gets that one.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that one. Yeah, no, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And then Rocky is born.
Rocky is born and the act ends.
And that's it.
Yes.
That was a quick one. This is possibly the quickest one yet. But that's how it goes sometimes. So, blah.
So
I was not expecting to get there that quickly.
that's neat.
I'm going to have another grape.
Yoink. Yoink.
Thank you for the gift of grapes. And we will be back in a couple of days then with Act 2 of the Rocky Horror Phantom Show.
Yay.
Which will possibly be a little bit more involved. Well, it easily will be because we get lots more of the Phantom.
There's going to be more work in the second act, definitely.
This is where things get interesting. Because certain things may not happen the way you think. There may be extra scenes, there may be some scenes removed. We don't know.
We'll have to wait and see. So come back on Friday and find out what happens.
And until then, take care and bye.
As always, TTFN.
Ba 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 ba.